Hello, this is video number 2 of the Busking series. I'm David. I am a busker. I play the button melodeon, or button box, button accordion. And the device I have is about 25 years old, and it's based on a design from about 1880. And I play on the streets and in shopping centers, and I also do private parties. And one nightclub has paid me from time to time to be involved in crowd control. By that I mean there's a rock club that will hire me on occasion to play nice, peppy accordion music to keep people from getting angry when they're standing in line for a rock show, especially when it comes to metal and some of the more, shall we say, aggressive musical styles. So somebody got this bright idea that maybe if I stroll around and play, then it will calm the people down. And it does do that. And I also play rich people's parties. I play parties for very special events, because it's not often you find somebody playing pop tunes on an accordion. I do not play your traditional accordion tunes. I play old TV theme songs. I play railroad tunes. I play old Stephen Foster melodies. I play rock, mainly 60s rock. And I play a number of things that are familiar to people, but they can't quite figure out how they are familiar. And that's always the guessing game. And people seem to light up with that. They stop and they want to know, what was that song that I just played? Well, it's the theme from the Flintstones, for instance, or maybe it's the wreck of the old 97, which was also made into another song called the MTA. There's a bunch of things that people have heard. They know they've heard them at some point in their lives, but they can't quite figure out what the title is. And if they are within earshot of my button accordion, which will carry about a block, then they get very intrigued, and they will tend to come by and they'll start to tip. The big question, is busking legal? It is. And it is legal to busk on the street. It is a First Amendment issue. The government can limit where you perform. For instance, in the city of Santa Monica, California, they license people to perform on the Esplanade, which is the major outdoor shopping district. However, a city cannot universally ban busking. So even though they may limit some areas, they cannot ban it 100%, even if they claim they can. There have been 4 Supreme Court cases affirming the right of buskers to perform. Now, you cannot ask for money. You have to just basically be there, maybe have your case open or a hat or something so people can put money in. And that is something that people kind of wonder about. It's like, well, how can it be legal? Well, you don't ask for money, and that's not a problem. I have a sign that says, "Your tips keep music alive." I'm not asking for money. In fact, one side of the sign has a QR code and mentions the fact that I accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Diners Club. But I don't ask for money. I'll tell you a little bit about the tax implications in the next video. But it is legal. Also, it's legal, oddly enough, in shopping centers. A Supreme Court ruling, let's go back a few notches here. Back in the 1970s, a group of students in San Jose, California, were passing around a petition And it was one of those political petitions. It was not, for a ballot measure or anything like that. It was just basically a petition to ask the federal government to change some policies. Well, the Prune Yard Shopping Center kicked them out. Prune Yard is a private shopping center. The kids sued the Prune Yard, and basically saying because it was private property. Well, the California Supreme Court ruled, or California, I guess, District Court ruled that it's possible for First Amendment and private property rights to coexist. One does not negate the other. The Prune Yard took it to the California Supreme Court. They affirmed that decision. The Prune Yard wasn't satisfied. They took it to the U.S. Supreme Court, and in a ruling in 1980, the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously sided with the California Supreme Court, saying that the right to free speech and the right to private property in a public shopping center do not conflict each other. The kicker being that if it's a public shopping center, meaning multiple stores, then it is the de facto public square. It's pretty much supplanted the public place where people, do their political messages and whatnot. So this doesn't necessarily apply to private, let's say a place where you have one store on its own property. Now, you can't busk there, but you can busk in a shopping center. And in fact, a lot of shopping centers are set up with benches and stuff to encourage people to linger. The name of this case, and you can look it up on Wikipedia or wherever you choose, it's called The Prune Yard versus Robbins, and Robbins is spelled Robins. Prune Yard versus Robbins. So give a look at that and see that you are in safe territory when it comes to busking in a shopping center. Now, I carry printed copies of the decision or a synopsis of the decision. I have been asked to leave several places, and it was interesting because a Safeway store, a lot of the managers liked me because the people who came in, the shoppers, really liked my being there and playing fun music. But one manager did not like me being there, and she told me that she was going to call the police if I didn't leave. I said, go ahead and call the police. So the police showed up. We greeted each other, and the policeman, one of the policemen said, well, we've been told that we have to ask you to leave. And I said, I acknowledge that, and you've done your duty, and you know as well as I do that they cannot ask me to leave. I mean, they cannot enforce it. You cannot enforce it. And the cop said, yeah, that's true. You don't... they didn't say I didn't have to leave, but what they said was that what I said was 100% correct. And I didn't leave. Eventually I did leave later on because I don't want to go where I'm not wanted. Okay? But the thing is, it was totally within my rights to be there in a public shopping center outside of a Safeway store. And I made some good tips. In fact, at one point I think 3 different times that I played there, I made tips where somebody dropped $100 bill on me. 3 different times this happened at that particular store. There is money, and there are people who really appreciate public performance. They appreciate the music. They appreciate the festivity that happens. So I would say, take to the streets, have a good time with it, have fun, and I think people will love you for it.